Welcome back. So in the last video, we looked at general page building tasks for our WordPress site. More specifically, we added a contact page, which we have here, and we then added, or rather removed, some of the text from our footer. In this video, we want to do a couple final tweaks to our WordPress website before we let you go on your way, and we'll give a couple final thoughts. More specifically, we want to update our buttons, because currently when we click these buttons, you'll see there's a little pound sign, but no links are sort of utilized in a way that's useful to us. So we'll address that now. There are two types of sort of buttons on our site, or rather there are two sections where the buttons are. This button here lives in our menu, or our header as it's often called in web development, and the rest of the buttons live on the page. So I would propose that we address the buttons from bottom to top. This is just the way I like to do things sometimes. So in order to do that, we would go to Edit with Elementor. And then once the page loads in Elementor, we're going to scroll down to the bottom. Now, the first thing we can think about is sort of the UX or the UI, meaning the user experience or the user interface. And we say, join over 10,000 students today, and enroll now. The site that we're going to target is called Udemy. It's our Udemy course page. And we actually have two courses here. So it makes a little bit more sense in my mind to change this from our course to our courses. So you can either double click here, or if you wanted to, you could come over here to the text portion and hit that, and then hit update. Now, the next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add a link. So let's open up Firefox. Sometimes I like using two different browsers so that when I make an update, I know that I won't be logged in that second browser. We're going to refresh the page. Sometimes it's a little bit weird on the different browsers, but this is starting to look pretty good. And we'll scroll down and we click here, and again, we have that pound sign. So we do have the change from course to courses, which is great, but then we're gonna come in here and we're gonna wanna add a link. And what link are we gonna wanna add? Well, let's add this link. So we come here to Elementor, and then in the portion that it says link, we're just gonna paste that link and hit update. And once it's updated, we'll go back to Firefox and we'll reload the page. Generally, it's good to reload the page because some of the changes won't sort of propagate. And then when we click this button, let's see what happens. Now, it does successfully go to the page that we wanted to, in our case, the Splativity Udemy page. But you'll notice that one of the sort of annoying things, or the things that I personally find annoying, is it opened it in the same tab of our website. And if you are the owner or creator of a website, sometimes you want it to open in a new tab. So the way to do that would be, again, come back here, click on the button that you want to adjust, come to the link section, and there should be a little gear icon here, and we're going to click link options. We click that, and then there's a little box where it says open a new window. You click that, you're starting to get to know the dance. It loads, we go back to Firefox, we reload the page. Obviously, when you're doing this on your own, you can do it you can sort of aggregate some of these steps, but because it's a tutorial, we want to go one by one. And now when we click this button here, it should open in a new tab, which it does. So great. We have covered this first button, which is really cool. Now, when people want to go and check out our courses, they can do that by just clicking that single button. Here, when we scroll up, this is a section where it's talking about us, about our product, about our company. And this more information, we could either have it do like in the last button, or the last example, it could come here, or what I like to do sometimes is just have it scroll down to another part of the page. And if we want to have it scroll down to the other part of the page, the first thing that we're going to have to do is to do what's called adding an anchor. So in order to add anchor, sometimes I like to add a section, and we'll create a single section here, and then you'll go up to your menu here, click the little hamburger menu twice usually, and type anchor. And it's called a menu anchor, and we're going to insert it here. And then what you want to do is you want to hit the pound sign, and you're going to type more info. And we're doing more dash info. You could do more info one word. You could just do info. You could do more. It's really up to you. And this is called an ID. Now, an ID is a specific identifier on the site. And when we call it, we're going to call it like this. So if we were to go here to the more button, we're just going to paste that, and it's going to be hashtag ID. As sort of a pedagogical tool, we did go here and we added the pound sign so that you can sort of see the way that it's coded or used in Elementor. But if you read this little note, it says the ID will be used as the CSS ID, so the Cascading Style Sheets ID, to use on your own page, but without the pound sign. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually go like this. And then we'll hit update. We'll scroll over to Firefox, go back to this page, reload the page. And unless I got things backwards, or unless the world comes to an end and we're not able to finish this video, when we click this button here, cross your fingers, it should move down to that section. And so that's pretty cool. Now, again, just to review, what we did is we added an anchor, we added a section here, and then we added a menu anchor. In the menu anchor, we added the sort of the ID or the name that we wanted to use, this times without a pound sign. And then we went to the place where we wanted to link that, and we added the pound sign and then that name again. So if we wanted to do that here, where this says learn more, you could scroll down and you can imagine it coming to the top of this section. So we could either, again, add a new section, or sometimes what I like to do is just add it right above the first item in a div or in a container. So here we can type again, menu anchor, drag and drop, right above the about, and then we'll call this about. So again, we're not saying hashtag about, we're just saying about. We'll hit update, then we'll copy this text and go here, and it already has a pound sign, so we could just paste about. We go to update, let the page load. We'll reload this page again, and you'll notice that in the address bar it has /pound. That's totally fine. You could delete it or not. It doesn't really matter. And then when we go here to learn more, it scrolls down to that section. So therefore, we've started at the bottom of the page. We had this button open in a new tab to our product page. Then we had this button here scroll down to this section. We added a menu anchor, and then we added a menu anchor here for the about or the about us, and then we added the link here. The last thing we want to do is we want to edit this take action button. We probably want to change the text that it's used, and also we'll want to add the effect that we had here, where it will bring us to the Udemy page, this page here, and it will open a new tab. But the way that we're going to go about and do that is a little bit different. So you can go to your dashboard and then scroll down to appearance and we're going to go to customize. Sometimes I go to menus, but it's generally not the right place to do that action. So it'll bring you to this WordPress editor where you can customize your site. You should recognize this perhaps if you watch some of the other videos where we could go to header and the site identity where we added our logo and our favicon. But what we want to do is we want to scroll over here, and you'll see that these little icons with a pencil appear, and you're going to want to click on the pencil icon next to the take action button. And that will bring you to a page in your primary menu where it says take action. And so what we're going to want to do is we're going to say, we'll use the same language. So our courses, capital C, plural. And then here we're going to go to this button link, and we'll just, we're here, and we'll just paste that in. And we'll hit publish. Now, you may sort of already know where this is going. It's not going to give us exactly what I want, but again, we sometimes want to make these pedagogical examples. So just bear with me, or otherwise fast forward like 30 seconds. But now when we click our courses, it's going to have that same problem where it's going to overload the page. So in this case, we would have liked to click this open a new tab, hit publish. It's published. We reload this page. You're starting to get used to the dance. Totally fun. Now when we click our courses, it again opens into a new page. So pretty sweet. In this video, we went and we looked at how to add and change the text for a button and open it in a new link, which we did here. Then we added some anchors, which was so fun. We added an anchor here, and then we added the hashtag name of the anchor. We did the same thing here with Learn More. And then we went to the Customize. We clicked this little icon here. We changed the name. We added the link and then the open a new tab. And bada bang, bada boom, we changed the 4 buttons on our homepage. Now we could also do that with the contact page if there were buttons in the contact page, but we are going to leave that for another time. In the remaining portion of this video, what we're going to do is we're going to sort of take a broad overview of what we learned or theoretically learned or shared in this course and let you on your way. So in the beginning of the course, we looked at how to do a quick competitive analysis and a wireframe, assemble our site assets. Then in video 4, we looked at the difference between WordPress.org and WordPress.com. In video 5, we looked at hosting and domains. More specifically, we chose a host, in our case, HostGator, where we chose to buy a domain and then use that as a hosting service. In video 6, we looked at configuration or WordPress configuration, things like how to install WordPress, log in, log out, change your password, update WordPress. In video 7, we looked at the site-specific configuration, how to remove or add plugins, how to change our permalinks, install a theme, customize that theme, and remove unnecessary pages. In video 8, we looked at how to change the site title and taglines, add a logo, or in our case, change the logo, because remember, we used a site template from Astra, and it already had a logo, but we changed the logo. We added a favicon, which is this little icon here in the leftmost portion of your browser, or at least most browsers, and we edited our site. In the last video, we then looked at how to add new pages, update the site navigation, and we created a contact page and then modified the footer. In this video that you're watching currently, we looked at how to do some cool tweaks to our buttons so their buttons are more effective. We looked at things like adding text and adding a link, having those links open in new windows, and we looked at the difference between buttons in your menu and buttons on your the body of your page, as well as adding anchor points. Now, there were lots of other things that we could have covered in this course, but the purpose of this course, the purpose of these tutorials were to give you a basic, to give you a platform in which to get jump started with your WordPress development. If there are sections that we didn't cover, topics that you'd like us to cover either for the first time or more in depth, please leave such information and knowledge in the comments section. If there are things that we could do better in the future in terms of creating courses, in terms of video quality, audio quality, the presentation of content, even the style of speaking, we're open to all feedback, positive and negative. And yeah, with that, we hope that you enjoyed the course. If you didn't, we apologize. Thanks again for your time, and we'll see you later. Ciao.